Well, welcome to the Motorbike Show and welcome to another of my favourite rides right here in Spain. Spain is famous for its crowded beaches and historic towns, but I've come for its gorgeous roads, and you'll find none finer than down here in Andalusia in the south. So I'm going to ride through the heart of the region, from Huelva on the coast to Valverde del Camino, finishing off at the ancient town of Aracena. Well, that's where we're going, but what are we gonna ride? Now, you may remember in Portugal, I was riding the new Triumph Street Scrambler. Well, I haven't quite had enough of it. In Portugal, I had the freedom of the open road and I loved it. But I want to see how this bike rides in towns and on Spain's slightly busier highways. First though, let's take a look around Huelva, a beautiful little town where time seems to have stood still. Huelva has been an important port since Roman times. Christopher Columbus set off from here for the New World in 1492. But it really grew rich in the 19th century when British company Rio Tinto Zinc was based here. Now, Huelva's got a real good vibe about it. It's a perfect place for a weekend away. But for us, time to get on the road and do a little bit of urban scrambling. Getting out of Huelva does mean getting involved in some traffic and doing a bit of old ducking and weaving. But the new Scrambler has been engineered to give you low-down power and torque, so you never feel intimidated by the traffic. Hey, we're getting the full service here. Wait, yeah, full. Gracias, gracias. Hey, what's that like? That doesn't happen in the UK much, does it? Now, this ride is only about 60 miles or 100 kilometres long to Aracena. Aracena? I think it's called Aracena. But hopefully it'll give you just a vibe of what it's like to actually ride in Spain, because of course this ride would be part of a longer route that you've planned. But hopefully it's as good as I remember. The next stretch, from the outskirts of Huelva, heading north on the N435, is a fairly anonymous A-road, but eventually it reduces to a single lane, and when I arrive in Valverde, things start to look up. Oh yes, please. Whoa. Cool, lovely, eh? Right, now this is called Valverde del Camino, I think. It's a little village or town, but isn't it beautiful? Look at that church thing down there. Posh as. Now, there was a moment on that ride that I thought, hang on, I've got this all wrong. But it's warming up and the vistas and the scenery are getting so much better. Well, welcome back to my Spanish adventure. Now, we're still in the little village of Valverde del Camino, which is famous for boots, but that's not why we're here. We're here because I've come to meet a mate of mine, Andy, who's moved out from the UK and is a biker. So if there's anyone who knows the roads, it's him. Andy Slade is a truly remarkable guy. He's a lifelong biker who 11 years ago was involved in a horrific accident which cost him his left arm and almost his life.
Used to deliver granite and marble. We had a high crane on the back of the lorry. The crane had a failure and the load come down on top of me, severed my arm clean off, crushed my left leg and buried me under 4 tonne of granite.
Though the injuries seemed devastating, within 18 months he was back on his Ducati Hypermotard.
I had a set of levers made, obviously, because having nothing there. And I cried. When I did my first pass on the Hypermotard, I cried. I thought, this is it. It can be done.
Andy's passion is not just to ride motorbikes, but to ride them very fast. I first met him at Elvington in Yorkshire 4 years ago at Speed Week. In spite of his injuries, he has continued to push the boundaries of what is possible on a bike. Now, am I right? You are the fastest one-armed person on a motorcycle in the world, am I right?
Apparently so.
And how fast is that?
We call it the standing mile, and that stands at 225.450.
Mate, that is just so cool.
Though Andy still regularly returns to the UK, for the last few years he's been based in Spain.
Was losing the arm a major reason for coming out here?
Yeah, it was a major reason. I did a ride in Vietnam, and then I realised the temperature just changed my body, the way I held myself changed, the way I felt changed. I come out here, I can ride more than I ever have. I mean, in the UK, I could barely ride for 3 months of the year. It was too painful.
Today, his everyday ride is a Ducati Scrambler.
Did it all myself. The starter button used to be near the throttle body, so we've changed from left to right. So we now got full controls, indicators, all with my thumb. Front brake is still in a traditional place, and the clutch is just under the front brake, and I just float from one to the other. To get that all to fit, cut 20mm off the twist grip, and then Bob's your uncle, away you go.
Andy has made the big move, choosing to live in Spain permanently. But even if you just want to come here for a biking holiday or a weekend, you can't help but enjoy these fabulous roads.
What would you say to someone who wants to come to Spain? I mean, it's only a couple of hours away, but a lot of us bikers, you know, think, oh, I'll do that one day, we never get around to it. But what's your take on riding in Spain?
It's a dream. You've got everything in Spain. I don't pretend that you could do it all in 5 minutes. You couldn't. It would probably take you half your lifetime. But if you go on the south coast or the north coast, you've got the whole spectrum of everything. Parts of Spain where I live, in the Axarquia region, it's like riding in the Alps, but with the bleating sunshine, olive groves and pine trees. It's wonderful. It really is. That, for me, it's a dream. It's a motorcyclist dream, this country. You know, there's always something around the corner.
And on that note, it's time for me to leave Andy and get back on the road. His story is truly inspirational, a reminder of the passion that motorcycling brings out in all of us. Welcome back to sunny Spain. I'm on the A461 from Valverde del Camino towards Aracena in northern Andalusia. It's a spectacular route which takes you past the Gossan Dam, a giant reservoir filled with psychedelic-looking water. It looks good from afar, but up close it's far from good, not the kind of lake I'd want to go fishing in. Riding further on, the colours calm down a little and you move into Andalusia's classic landscape of rolling hills and scrubby trees. The roads aren't quite as newly minted as you find in Portugal, but they're almost as empty.
This is utterly beautiful and my idea of perfect motorcycling. We're about 30 kilometres away from Aracena, and I don't really want it to come into view because the temperature is perfect, the road surface is perfect. Let me tell you, right, a lot of people who haven't ridden abroad and want to, you know, talk to me and I say, look, right, there's the odd car that goes past, but once you're actually out in the countryside and out of the urban areas, the traffic that you have to deal with is so much less than what you're used to. If you can cope with riding in the UK, you know, riding here is absolute bliss. It's midday, it's mid-March, and sitting on this rock, it's the perfect temperature. But if you're riding here at this time, take a leather jacket because you get a little chilly in the mornings. I'll tell you something else to watch out for though. Something that I wasn't expecting is I'm getting a face full of bugs with me open face lid. But I'll tell you what, man, riding these roads, what's not to like?
As the road wends its way northwards, there are more beautiful sweeping bends and small towns to stop off at. I'm in Spain, just coming to the end of a gorgeous ride from Huelva to Aracena. So far it's mainly been rural roads, but as I get closer to the centre of town, a word of caution.
I'll tell you what, riding through these streets is just glorious with the whitewashed walls, medieval buildings and all that. But check out these cobbles and the steepness of the inclines. I'll tell you what, man, if you were on a big touring bike 2 up and it was pouring with rain, I reckon you'd be in a lot of trouble.
On the other hand, on a day like this, on a bike like this, I can't really complain. Back in Spain, I'm just reaching the centre of Aracena, the end of the road for today's trip.
Well, 100 kilometres later, we're in Aracena. Now then, today, riding these Spanish roads has been kind of a curate's egg, I have to say. When I started off, I thought to myself, have I ridden this road before? Have I got it slightly wrong? There was a lot of roadworks and all that kind of caper. But as the day has progressed, everything has warmed up, both the weather and the roads. The roads here have been absolutely stunning for about 20 kilometres towards Aracena. And here we are in this most beautiful medieval hilltop village, famous for its ham.
And I'm not talking about the local ham dram company. Aracena is famous for its 13th century castle, but for me it's just a typical Spanish town where life seems to move at an effortlessly slow pace. A great place to kick back at the end of a long, thrilling day of riding.
So whether you're a hardened traveller or someone just looking for their first experience riding abroad, look no further than Spain. Just get on the ferry to Santander and Bilbao. But I thought I might just leave you with what they call in corporate circles a helicopter view of what you could be missing. Come to Spain, man, it's gorgeous.